The question of how much to charge for your service is always a big one. People are always very worried about how much to charge, not really sure about how to determine what the optimal pricing is, finding the equilibrium between maximizing the conversion rates and then maximizing the profit margins per client. The only thing with that is you're never really going to know what the equilibrium is unless you have a ton of data, and you need to be at a very high scale to get that level of data for yourself. So instead of trying to figure out the best pricing for yourself, there is a much easier way to figure it out, and that's just to look at what's going on in the market. So go and look at 50 to 100 competitors. The more the better, right? It can be 10 for instance, but the more the better. You look at as many competitors as possible, gather all of their pricing. If the pricing isn't directly on their website, then get in contact with them, get on calls with them, and learn their pricing by going through dummy projects, posing as a potential client. Then also you want to get all of the freelancers pricing, so that's usually readily available on Fiverr, for instance, but also posting jobs on Upwork for the specific package that you're going to be selling, which you determine by putting together all of the packages you can find. The more the better, the more data the better, the more accurate you're going to get in terms of an average package for the service that you're selling. Once you have the average package, you put it together in an Upwork post it on Upwork as a dummy project, see what pricing you get offered and what level of quality a freelancer is applying, because you can see the level of quality just by looking at their profile. And that's going to tell you the freelancer cost by looking at the average of all of those, and the competitor price by looking at the average of all of those. And then somewhere in between is where your price is going to be. And usually you just want to make sure you're aiming for a 70% profit margin. So for instance, if your freelancer cost is $300, you might charge $1,000, and that would be a 70% profit margin, but you might see that your competitors are charging $2,000, $3,000. You don't necessarily need to charge as much as your competitors do, because in the beginning you just want to get as many sales as possible to build up your portfolio, which you'll then use in the gathering of more clients, right? So that's something that's really crucial, is just making sure that in the beginning, you don't want to price things too cheaply. You just want to focus on getting that 70% profit margin. And then over time, as you get more portfolio work coming in, as you close more clients, you can slowly increase your prices as well.